Hey everybody, and welcome to Ritual Motion's RMTV's weekly download. I want to welcome all new time viewers and of course our community. First and foremost, congratulate everyone on making it through the 875 days of April. We're now into May. This week we have a really exciting show for you. We have Trevor Andrews, who basically went from violist player to esports coach. As always, we'll have Jamie that'll give us a great update on varsity and what's going on in the world. But let me catch you up on a couple other things. So as you all know, or maybe you don't know, Travis Scott did an in-game concert on Fortnite. This was a huge success. I'd actually even call it a victory royale for both Fortnite and its parent company, Epic Games, who saw 27 million unique views in the 5-day experience. That was pretty incredible. Well, let me get right to it and let me welcome Andrew. Hey, Andrew, thank you for coming on our show.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
You know, we polled some folks in our community and they gave us some questions to ask you. So let's just get going. Andrew, why don't you tell us a little bit in the community, a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I grew up in Ohio, actually. I live in Maine now. And yeah, do you want more than that? Do you want me to tell you about where I went to school or how, I've lived all over, honestly. I've lived in lots of places in the United States. Even though I'm only 30, I've lived in Maryland and I've lived in Colorado and I've lived in Ohio and I've lived in Maine. I've lived in Boston. I've lived in New York. So I've been all over the place because of music and things like that. And yeah, so now I live in Maine, in South Portland, Maine.
Trevor, that was awesome. You've lived in a lot of places, so have I. So the next, Trevor, is folks have been asking is, how did you get into playing the viola, A, and what is the difference between a viola and a violin?
That's a good question. So most of the time, I'm sure most people have actually seen a viola before and just not even knew it wasn't a violin. They're just bigger. It's just a bigger thing. I actually have my instrument right here. It's literally just it's bigger than a violin. So a violin, is my camera working, right? A violin would be like this big. Oh. Much smaller, especially when you hold it up on my chin. It's like, this is way bigger than a violin. A violin's like right in here. So it also has lower strings than a violin. It has, instead of an E string, it's got a low C string. So otherwise they have 3 strings that overlap. So they're pretty similar. This one's just a little bit bigger. It's more difficult to play. It plays different parts, that kind of thing. I got into playing the viola. I can answer that pretty easily too. I actually, growing up in Ohio, I was in the smallest school district in Ohio with a public school orchestra. And in 5th grade, they let you choose instruments and things. And I knew that I wanted to play soccer in high school and that I couldn't be in the band because they were at the same time. And I knew that they told me I was too short to play the bass. And my sister already played the cello and I just hated how the violin sounded. So I picked viola. And years later, I somehow got into it and ended up getting a master's degree. And now I'm in a symphony. And that's that's a big part of what I do.
Trevor, that was awesome. I really didn't know the 2 instruments were different in that subtle ways, but that's pretty cool. Trevor, also wanted to ask you a question. What do you see as the connection between learning music and learning esports and video games?
Yeah. So for me, it's been really easy to equate to because basically when you're studying music and especially at a very high level and especially classical music, you're really breaking things down into systems and you're breaking things into your right and your left hand and also in your brain, and you're figuring out the best way to do everything that you can. And so that easily translates for me, especially for a game like Apex Legends, because it's very easy to just play that game or any game and not think about it. But if you apply learning techniques and strategy, you really can improve. And even I think it's my favorite thing about both of them is that it's easy to show people things that they've never even thought about. And there's always new tiers that you can get to in gaming. And it's the same as with music. There's always like a higher plateau or a new skill gap. So it's really fun to get somebody closer to that next level of skill and see people actually make improvements.
I can totally understand the 2 disciplines and how they merge together. That was really cool. So like everybody, they're trying to do a new hustle in this economy and pandemic that we're in, at what point, when did you make that pivot from viola instructor to esports instructor?
Yeah, so I was doing both things already. I was already playing and teaching music lessons very all over, and so when my streaming business got bigger and I got more people interested in playing with me, I thought, what's the best way that I can, prioritize my time and give people one-on-one time and feedback and actually, have something that people can buy for me and actually learn something. And I immediately, we figured out Fiverr was a great place for me to list these lessons. And now I have 3 listings on there now, which are violin and viola lessons. And I've got Apex coaching, and I've got another game, Ark Survival Evolved coaching. So it's really neat to be able to do all 3 things and actually to be even more versatile. It's not even that I had to switch, it's that I got to grow and I got to open to both things now. So it's great to have students from all aspects of it, and even some wanting both things. Some people are like, oh my gosh, you could teach me how to play violin and you could help me with Apex. It's pretty cool that both, that they can coexist that easily. The skills translate a lot more than people understand before they start doing that kind of thing. That's really what it's about for me.
Trevor, I want to also say and ask, so what's the most satisfying thing about coaching?
I love coaching. It's the same with teaching. I love seeing people get better, and especially people wanting to get better. And my favorite thing is when I've given someone a coaching, and then a few weeks later they'll come back into my stream, which is a great way, because sometimes people find me through Fiverr, or some people find me watching me on my stream. And then but some people have found me through this coaching, and they've gotten a couple hours of time. They're like, okay, I'm going to go work on this stuff that you gave me, because sometimes people pay me for a 3-hour lesson, and I'll write a full page of notes about what we did, and I'll make sure that they really remember everything I said, because I talk a lot about trying to make them better. And so I really love that feeling when they come back and they come to the open lobby in a few weeks and they say, hey, I hit platinum in ranked mode this season, or hey, I did this now, and hey, I averaged 6 kills a game now, or or they come and play with me again and they're just a completely different player. It's so fun to see people get better. That's really what the most satisfying thing is for me. It's just to see people find things more easily, and for me to explain them to people, and for people to really grow from what I'm explaining.
Now, speaking of coaching, I know our community would really love, just if you don't mind, giving us some tips on some esports coaching right now.
Yes, for sure. We can do that. So the grapple that I want to teach people all the time is the one like this, right? Where you hit the ground and you fly, so you don't have to have anything to protect yourself, and you can actually immediately launch. So it's obviously not that straightforward. So what you do, what I like to do is come stand on a flat-ish part, like over here, and I will look straight ahead into the distance, right? And as soon as you do that, you start to look slowly down, right? Until you hit the ground, it turns blue. You see when your reticle turns blue when you look down? Keep going down. Keep going down. Down, 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 down. There, see it?
Oh, I see it.
So when that happens, that's when you're actually going to attach. So the timing is 1, 2. So literally you're going to push the left bumper, and then on 2, you're going to hit the A button. So 1, 2. Nope, you didn't too fast. You too early. 1, 2. Literally that fast. Push the button and then jump a second later almost.
1,
2. There you
2.
go.
Oh my god, I'm flying.
I don't know why you didn't believe me. Isn't that awesome?
That's kind of amazing.
So the timing works, right? 1, 2, and then if you look up, if you add looking up into that, you'll throw yourself even farther, and then you can slide at the end too, right? So after you shoot the ground, then you can look up, right? So as part of it, while you're create your look like that. Yeah. For example, let's try one of these. We're gonna grapple this, and we're gonna land over there beyond it. So all I'm gonna do is grapple directly at this rock, right? And then I'm gonna hold my left thumbstick to the right to go around it, and I'm gonna look about right there. So I'm gonna grapple there, I'm gonna look about right there, and then as soon as I'm pulled up next to the rock, I look beyond it, and it'll throw me where I wanna go. I'll look exactly where I wanna go, and I'll push my left thumbstick in that direction. You don't have to jump, any of that. You just have to look and push. Yep, there it is. You nailed it.
Woo! Party.
Isn't that sweet?
That was very exciting.
Yeah, so that's a great way to practice all of these, right?
Trevor, that was great. I am sure a lot of our players out there will be happy to see those little tips that you just gave us. And lastly, Trevor, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I know our community would be really happy if you actually just played something on your viola.
Yeah, thanks. All right, everyone knows this.
Wow, Trevor, that was great. I'm sure everyone watching this right now has figured out what tune that is. Up next, we have Jamie that's going to give us an update on varsity.
Thank you, Dana. So for this Esports weekly update, we're going to have a few things going on here. Well, first of all, JBL is partnering up with 100 Thieves, which is huge for both JBL and 100 Thieves in terms of esports. So basically, 100 Thieves, if they're streaming, spectating, practicing, anything, you will see them sponsoring the JBL gear, which will bring good publicity to both companies. Another thing in the esports news is the iRacing Pro Invitational Series that has been streaming on Fox at 1 p.m. every Sunday has actually seen an increase in viewership, and up to 1.3 million people have tuned in on Sunday to watch the race. That's good for racing fans, and that's good for esports. Baseball fans, it's not exactly what you want. I know baseball is being close to coming back, but you'll have to settle for the esports version of baseball. 16 players have already confirmed that they are going to be playing in a tournament, competing against one another, using your favorite teams or their own created teams in a battle royale type MLB tournament to see who is the best Major League Baseball player in the MLB via esports. And last but not least, Los Angeles Football Club of the MLS and Major League Soccer have decided they're going to pivot to esports. They want to give their fans what they've been hoping and looking for. It's just going to be virtual. So they're going to be competing and using their live stream to show virtual games over the course of the season. That's it for our weekly report on the varsity side of things. Back to you, Dana.
Wow. Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning in today. What a great show. I do want to thank Trevor for his viola playing and also his esports coaching. As always, I want to thank our very own Jamie for giving us an update on all things varsity. As always, you can send us your comments, requests, ideas. This is a complete collaborative effort that we have going on here at rmtv@ritualmotion.com. I also want to take a moment and thank all of our first responders, all of the folks in grocery stores, our mail folks, our delivery people, and also to the class of 2020. I know this is an unprecedented time, and we'd like to let everyone know we are in this together. So we've created a little promotional code for you. It's Together 2020. You can use that for anything on our shop and get 20% off. Thank you again. I'm your host, Dana Paul. Be well. Peace.